Love is easy. Relationships are hard. And when you add in children, well, in our fast-paced, internet-driven text and chat world, sometimes couples and families just can't make it work. Then they will need the help of a trusted family law lawyer. When that time comes, they will need your help, love, and support. This video was created so that you might be able to offer some of that support to someone you care about, who might be struggling with their relationships. But how can you help them without just sending them to some lawyer who you don't really even know? This video is part of Actus Law Dua's educational series. If you know someone who is struggling, who could use some straightforward, no strings attached, kind advice about what they should be doing or at least thinking about before they walk through any lawyer's office, then we suggest that you forward them the link to this video. It is a perfect and confidential way for you to share this information with them. Then they can choose whether or not they wish to watch this video. Your role is just to provide them with good, unbiased information. There is no sales pitch in this video, no personal information is asked for, no data is being collected. This is just a way for the lawyers at Actus Law Dua to share what they have learned over the past 20 years that they wish their clients had considered before they started thinking about separation. In some cases, once they really think about these 11 smart things, they may even decide it's worth going back to try to save their marriage. But if not, they will be better prepared for the future. Now let's listen in as we learn about Sheila Cameron, and she shares her 11 smart things to do if you are separated.
My name's Sheila Cameron. I'm a family law lawyer at Actus Law Dua. I've been practicing family law for 20 years.
Why'd you go into family law?
I took an interest in family law. When I went to law school, we study in all the different disciplines of law, but I really enjoy family law. I have a first degree in psychology and I like helping people.
So you have any idea how many clients you've helped over the years? I'm just wondering what that number would be.
It would be a very large number, Bill. I probably have
20 years times 100 a year, about 2,000 clients.
Wow, you've helped over 2,000 people with their family law issues over the years?
Maybe, yeah.
Does it always mean divorce?
No, it doesn't always mean divorce. People often come in for consultations, the what if. You know, if I were to separate, what would happen to me? And we do an analysis and we show them, you know, what they have to think about, what they need to get their head around if they're going to take that step. We always recommend marriage counseling, and some people go. But the other side is, the reality is, once they've decided to come and see a lawyer, they probably are going to go through with separation or divorce.
So before that happens, you've created this resource online of these 11 smart things to do if you are separated. Where did this come from? Is this, how did this document get created?
Well, the document is sort of a synthesis of what we tell clients, and we looked at what are we telling people over and over again, and what information can we give them on our website that will be helpful to them. The 11 things allows them to access it on a time that's good for them. It's private. They can do it in the privacy of their own home or on their cell phone. And maybe they never come back to it. Maybe they never take the next step. But if they do, it lets them prepare themselves for the separation and for the first meeting with the lawyer.
So why don't we go through them quickly? The first one is inform yourself. What is that about?
It's about getting the most information you can about your situation before you come and pay for legal services. Because if you're going to pay a lawyer by the hour right from the beginning, your fees are going to be higher than if you can inform yourself by, there's lots of information on the internet, find out what you can expect around separation and divorce, what's likely to happen with children, with support issues, and we have the child support guidelines which are available through the Department of Justice online, spousal support advisory guidelines. It just helps people understand, if I was to separate, what's likely going to happen with my assets, what type of financial support can I expect? Because with family law, everybody has an opinion, and what their opinion is may not correlate with the law. And if people are entrenched in their opinions as to what's right or what's fair, it can often take them off in the wrong leg altogether.
So the second thing you have is think about your divorce objectives.
People need to have a clear objective in their mind. Divorce is a process. What is my goal for coming through this process? For most people, the goal is that they come through with the least impact on them, both financially and emotionally, and especially for their children. I often say I've never met a client that pounds on my desk and says, I want to go to the Court of Appeal and create precedent.
Right.
Right? Or nor have I met one that pounds on my desk and says, I want to spend lots and lots of money in your office. So the divorce objective is very important.
The next one is continue to spend time with your children. That just seems like a no-brainer. What are you talking about here?
Some people lose sight of their children in the chaos of separation, and they focus on the other person. Sometimes it's revenge, sometimes it's just emotional upheaval, and they forget that as much as they're upset, their children are at least as upset. So they need to refocus, they need to spend time with the children who are going through a significant change in their life that they have no control over. Some parents will focus on their work, for example, instead of their children. Some parents will focus on themselves and their own emotional upset to the detriment of their children.
Gotcha. The fourth one you say is don't make, yeah, like this is going to happen. Don't make negative comments about the other parent. Oh man, everybody I've known that even was thinking about divorce, that's all they talk about is the problem with it. Jerk husband or jerk wife that, I mean, how do you avoid that?
We try to instill that in our clients right from the beginning, that it's not healthy for them and it's terrible for their kids if they're going to talk negatively about the other parent. We tell them that children have two people they love most in their entire life is their mother and their father, and that they should be allowed to continue to love both of their parents regardless of where everybody's living. We know, because not only do we train in law, but we do attend some psychology courses that talk about the impact to children of divorce. And we know that as long as a parent will allow the child to feel safe in that home, that they can love both parents and talk about both parents and there's no negativity, that child will do okay in the separation.
Great.
Everybody's worried about how their kids are going to come through the separation. It doesn't matter what the living arrangement is, as long as the conflict is kept to a minimum.
So tell me about this collect documents. This sounds like checking to see whether your wife or husband has a secret bank account, or what kind of documents should we be collecting?
We want people to collect all the documents that show their financial realities around the time of separation. So their bank accounts, their investment accounts, what is the value of your home, and all the values of your debts, credit cards, mortgage documents.
Well, the next one sounds like it's a combination here. Is save your money. What do you mean save your money?
Well, don't go out and make a major purchase if you're thinking about separation. Don't put your house under renovation. That's a bad idea. Save your money because you're going to need it. You'll have lawyer fees. You may have fees for other professionals. But also, if you're about to live separate, you're going to now have two households living on the same income.
The next one is prepare questions for your lawyer. How do I know what questions to ask before I've even talked to a lawyer?
Write down everything that's relevant to you, everything you want to get an understanding about, and keep a running journal. So as the days go by while you're waiting for your lawyer's appointment, you're writing things down. I need to ask her this, I need to ask him that. And bring that with you, and to make sure that you ask all the questions in the time you're with the lawyer. They should satisfy themselves that the lawyer has the experience and the knowledge that they need for their problem, however large their problem is. And they should make sure that it's a good, comfortable relationship, that the lawyer's answering their questions, that they feel comfortable discussing things with the lawyer's not dismissive, for example. This is an important relationship.
So how about getting emotional support? I mean, that would seem to be incredibly important, but how do you go about that?
You need to find proper emotional support. So for a lot of people, it starts with their friends and their relatives. But after a period of time, those friends and relatives may get a little tired of helping to prop up the person who's going through a separation if they're continuing to have a hard time. Then they need to look for professional advice. Because if they come to the lawyer with emotional problems that maybe kind of look like legal problems, but they really aren't, It's very expensive to engage lawyer services, and they'll find it more financially efficient, but also it will help them more if they engage a counselor or a psychologist. But people go through divorce. It's a huge change in your life. You grieve a divorce the same way you grieve a death. So there's 5 distinct phases that people have to work through. And they can get stuck in any one of those phases. And if they get stuck in anger or bitterness, those are the people you see that talk about their divorce all the time and talk about the other person. And they need professional help to get through that if they get stuck there.
So do you have people that you work with that you can recommend to them? I mean, that's not what you do, right?
That's not what we do, but we refer people out to get that help.
And what is Record Important Events about?
So as the separation goes on, important events need to be written down so that you're not calling the lawyer every day. You can be your own journalist, so you can write down, today I went to the bank account and there was $1,000 missing and I didn't take it out. Or today I went to pick up the kids from school and they were already gone because the other parent took them up. Things like that, because then the next time you meet with the lawyer, you can bring your notes and say, these are all the important things that happened. That will be important for the lawyer's knowledge, and if the lawyer ever has to prepare court papers, they'll have all those important dates.
So it's sort of like keeping a journal, like you said, just...
It is. And it's more efficient because if you call your lawyer every day to give them a little piece of information, it gets very expensive, plus the lawyer has to record it. It's not the best system of getting good information to the lawyer. If I'm working for you on a piecemeal basis, it's actually less efficient for you and for me. I'd rather sit down with you and have a half hour or an hour all at once and deal with a whole bunch of issues and give you some concrete, good advice than have a little piece of it every day. Because as every little piece comes to me, my opinion may change.
Right. Do not sign anything. What are the kinds of things that people might, especially what are the things that people might sign for that they wouldn't even think about was important?
People, more often than not, sign agreements and don't realize they've signed an agreement. And especially when it comes to children, it's not required in our province to have a lawyer sign with you when you sign a custody agreement. And so I have seen clients sign documents with respect to where the children will live and what time they'll spend with each parent and not realize they've just signed a custody agreement. Anything that's forward moving, where the children will be, what the financial arrangements will be. I don't want spousal support, for example, or I'm not going to touch your pension. Those types of documents shouldn't be signed.
Gotcha. And then the last one is seek help from family law websites and family law lawyers.
Again, clients should seek to inform themselves before they start to pay a lawyer. And there's lots of good references on the website in terms of free family law hotlines. You need to make sure you're in the proper province, though, because family law in Canada is province specific. There are some federal statutes like the Divorce Act, but you want to be sure that if you're in New Brunswick, that you're getting information that's relevant to New Brunswick, not to Ontario or another province.